At first glance, this looks like a tragic accident at a gas station. A woman is seen standing normally. Seconds later, she is engulfed in flames. But what makes this case truly disturbing is not the fire itself. It's what happened after. Because this woman didn't die immediately. She survived, and while lying in a hospital bed, burned beyond recognition. She became the key witness in her own attempted murder case, and her answer changed everything. Judy Malinowski was a 31-year-old woman living in Ohio. She had 2 daughters, and like many parents, her life revolved around them. Her family described her as emotional but loving, deeply attached to her children, always trying to improve her life. But her life was not simple. She had struggled with addiction in the past. She had gone through difficult relationships, and she was trying to rebuild herself. During this time, she met Michael Slager. At first, he seemed like a normal partner. He texted her constantly, showed attention, and gave her emotional support. But what Judy didn't know was that Michael had a long criminal background: domestic violence, assault cases, aggressive behavior toward partners, repeated legal issues. To outsiders, these were warning signs. But in relationships built on emotional dependency, warning signs are often ignored. Judy believed she had found someone who understood her. Instead, she was entering a dangerous psychological cycle, control disguised as love. As time passed, the relationship began to change. Friends later described patterns: emotional arguments, jealousy, manipulation, breakups, and reconciliation cycles. Judy's life became unstable again. She started struggling with substance dependency again. Her confidence dropped, her independence weakened, and Michael became more dominant in her life. This is important, because abuse is not always sudden. It often builds slowly over time. By mid-2015, Judy's situation was fragile. And then came the night that changed everything. August 2nd, 2015. Judy and Michael were at a Speedway gas station in Columbus, Ohio. Security cameras captured their arrival. At first, everything looks normal. They stand near the vehicle, but then something changes. Body language shifts. Distance increases. Tension becomes visible. Argument begins. Witnesses later reported hearing shouting. Then the situation escalates rapidly. A flammable liquid is introduced. Within seconds, fire erupts. Judy is engulfed in flames. People nearby panic. But what investigators later focused on was not just the fire. It was Michael's reaction. He does not behave like someone in shock. No immediate panic. No urgent attempt to save her. Just controlled movement and distance. That detail later became extremely important. Emergency services arrive quickly. Judy is rushed to Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. Doctors immediately understand the severity. Over 80% burns, critical condition, extremely low survival probability. One doctor later stated, "Cases like this rarely survive more than a few days." Meanwhile, police begin investigating Michael's explanation. He claims it was an accident. Gasoline was spilled. Fire started unintentionally. But investigators quickly notice inconsistencies. Then surveillance footage is recovered. The video shows argument before fire, sequence of movements, behavior inconsistent with accident theory. At this point, the investigation shifts. This is no longer considered an accident. It becomes a criminal arson case. But there is one major problem. Judy is unconscious. Without her testimony, the case is weak. So investigators and doctors face a difficult decision. They temporarily reduce sedation to try and communicate with her. In the hospital room, a detective asks carefully, "Can you hear me?" Judy responds faintly. Then comes the key question. "Did Michael do this to you?" Judy, weak but conscious enough to respond, gives an answer. Yes. That single moment becomes the turning point of the entire case. Michael Slager is arrested, charged with aggravated arson, felonious assault. Despite expectations, Judy survives far longer than doctors predicted. Her condition remains critical. She undergoes multiple surgeries, skin grafts, intensive medical care. Her body is severely damaged, but her survival itself becomes extraordinary. Doctors describe her case as medically remarkable. Meanwhile, legal proceedings continue. Her testimony becomes central evidence. In court, prosecutors present surveillance footage, medical evidence, witness statements, Judy's testimony. The defense argues accident theory, lack of intent, emotional conflict during argument. But the evidence is strong. The sequence of events does not support an accident. Michael Slager is convicted, sentenced for his actions. Justice is delivered, but the cost is irreversible. This case is not just about a crime. It is about control, manipulation, and survival. It shows how dangerous relationships can slowly escalate. And most importantly, even when someone tries to silence a victim, truth can still survive. Judy's voice became the key to justice. He thought she would never speak again, but she became the witness that ended his freedom.